points behind, and well, Vitality going to be that first hurdle for NaVi to get over to secure themselves that first place victory. So will they be successful, or will they fall? That is got to be the big question of this matchup.
One of the things, obviously, that they were kind of talking about on the desk is the map here. And Cafe, it's a very good NaVi map.
It is, yes. It is quite scary to go here as Vitality, especially considering, you know, earlier comments we have been making about the team of still getting merged together. Cafe, often a map that requires a lot of... How to say it, right? Like, if you're on the attack, you really need to be very coordinated as the attacking team to pull off some good rounds right here. So it is always a little bit scary to see some newer teams going here, in my opinion, and especially if you're up against NaVi, who love Cafe Dostoyevsky.
I think that's it too. Is, you know, I'm sitting here at the beginning of the game, looking at this map, and I'm thinking, what? You know, letting it get this far in the ban, is this something where Vitality have some plays, have some ideas and some secrets? They're a team that we've said they've kind of built in strength. I think as the season's gone on, they, you know, have been able to like redefine who they are and their roles and bring some performance in. We've seen some hit and miss moments. We've seen P4 able to kind of dig themselves in and, you know, however many different maps he's just crouch walked into sight. And I'm curious to see if this is a place where they can kind of bring some of that chaos against NaVi, who are a team that are pretty great at aggression.
Yeah, that's it, right? It was definitely key against G2. P4 being able to just sneak in, get a couple of kills, especially in that clubhouse defense. Bottom floor is the first one that springs to mind. Falling back, letting the rest of the team do the rest of the job, and you just clear it out as a result. And while Vitality managed to... well, how to say it, they get a lot of rounds on the back of that single strategy, but they got to make sure that that is not going to be what they are going to be known for, because it's just simply teams going to be watching out for him entering, taking him out, and suddenly your whole attack is going to be disarmed. So Vitality, of course, they have many more fraggers available to them, and they will be coming up. Bibu, for example, who managed to get a 1v4 clutch in that same G2 game. And I'm just interested in seeing how they will be dealing with the pressure and the aggression that NaVi is going to be bringing, and how they will match that.
One of the things I think we've seen from Bibu is he's grown in confidence and aggression over the season. I think if I'm going to kind of highlight Vitality and what they've been able to bring to a fight, he, for me as a player, is like, sure, at the beginning we saw some huge plays from P4 and Cactus, and, you know, these big clutches from a lot of players, but Bibu steadily weekend after weekend, I think his performance from my perspective has been improving across the board, and I think that's a really good sign because he's such a big potential name for Vitality.
He is indeed. Something important here is that Valkyrie camera you just saw, they know exactly that Saves is repelled up here, but they're also going to be aware of the fact that it is going to be held, and well, a jump out or run out is going to be potentially a suicide mission. So they'll hold off to it for now and proceed to open up some of the utility pieces, trying to go for a little bit of a bait, right? You take out that new gemmer just to let them know, all right, we're not watching your flank at this very moment. But in the meantime, Doki already dropping down onto the cigar balcony. Is Cactus to fall first, and that is NaVi taking the initiative right here.
That was a grenade drop beat, but there's the hop out, and there's Bibu double either side on the window. The diffuser's there, cold too. He'll pass that information back, and that's a long walk for the three NaVi players to try and pull some of this back together, because they were already putting pressure onto the balcony. They're already trying to dig in, and that severely isolates what they needed to do. Without that anvil on the opposite side, it's just a hammer, and well, that's a little bit less dangerous, but it's still nothing to ignore. So they don't. P4 swings on the corner and drops and cleans Cigar out as secretly finally finds his feet inside and able to try and offer a bit of revenge with a minute 10 on the board, and the diffuser still far away, and a big bit of land between the two remaining NaVi players. They've got to try and find a Vitality player who gets a little bit too overeager.
Yeah, they need to find an opening somewhere secretly. However, taking a lot of damage will not be P4 as well, taking him down even lower. Bibu, in the meantime, back inside. He's underneath the red stairs right now, holding for a potential flank. And while Saves is trying to push up the white stairs, still the diffuser is nowhere in hand. Nitro is being tossed out, but will not be found. Not find anything, rather. Saves seems to be aware of the fact that there's... Oh, he checked it, but he wasn't going to be able to go for it. And the second hand, however, going to be able to get the kill in, and with 30 seconds left, still plenty of time to make something happen, but both the members of NaVi are going to be so low. With P4 picking it up right there, it's only up to Saves, who gets taken out from a vertical angle on Cactus. And it's round 1 right here for Vitality, a defense 1. On the back of a jump out of Bibu, you can almost say, dropping down the diffuser and 2 members. And with that, first round on the board, and it might be a very important one.
I said at the beginning, this is a map that's going to be sort of built and constructed around the aggression that's being brought here and the potential for Vitality to step into that game. And obviously losing one and then going for this double job outweighed. We saw Bibu for a long time toying with the ideas of where they wanted to go and where they wanted to apply this pressure from. Obviously 2 of them on the window and neither of them watching the right place to get revenge. It sometimes happens on this map, and it sometimes happens quite a lot. It's Cafe. It's what it can offer teams that are bold and brash. Is if they're paying attention, it is suicide, as you said. Like, it's not as quick as Consulate can be in terms of those hop outs and the movements and rotations. You don't have as much cover and as much support. It's a bit of a fall from the White Stairs window to the ground, and an even further one from the site windows itself. So it's the bold that are able to survive this time, but will they try and replicate that later?
So Bibu originally wanted to go for the run out towards the southern side from the garage. Wanted to pick up the kill into Saves right there, who was watching his own run out. Realized that wasn't going to be able to be achieved, and well, the call probably came in. There's 2 on the east side, Bibu. If you really want, you can jump out there and pick up 2 kills, and so he did. And we all know how very annoying it is to deal with a defender that is playing on the outside, right underneath the wall, because you have to rappel down if you're from the roof, or you have to rappel up. Either way, the defenders are going to be aware of the fact that as soon as they're on that balcony, where you're going to be coming from, right? So Bibu really played that well right there. Managed to drop that diffuser, managed to basically stay outside for a long time, putting some huge pressure on NaVi because they couldn't instantly go and recover it. They had to go through the building to try and clear out the defenders, and well, we just saw how that happened. We ended up in an 0-1, and NaVi again on the attack right now, being a little bit careful about the windows, potentially C4s flying out, or maybe even people, as we saw in the last round. So a bit more reserved.
Now then, steady descent down Cafe is how you usually take this dance. P4 with the extension around into the train room and make sure he's close enough to rotate his way around that hefty machinery, as Rise is the one that's offering some support. The Oryx has some potential for a little bit of the reverse vertical here, but it's not so massively prevalent. It's more getting those big rotations open and the plays that you can do otherwise in and amongst that. Quick sledging now as Doki offers the cover all the way across to the new balcony to make sure nobody swings and it gets a little bit too eager. It does seem like a lot of the Vitality bodies have actually just left this side for now.
That's something we do see quite often, though. Just falling back very quickly as soon as some pressure starts coming down. Of course, there is still 2 up here, Cactus and Rise. Rise being on that Oryx has the opportunity to jump up and down these hatches. So, for example, could be going down very quickly when the need is there and then jump back up on the hatch you see on his right bottom of the screen when pressure is being put down. And talking about that, P4, the first one to grab a kill yet again, Saves now will be dead. Vitality will be able to get that opening kill with a minute left on the clock.
Well, the grenade pushes him into an awkward situation, and he seems to make lemonade out of those lemons. Drops the cross shot there. Another grenade hits Cactus, but he's still standing. And P4, well, he makes sure Doki isn't any more. Blur tries to swing close, but now it's only Blur, who has 5 players left to try to swing on. And they're pretty aware of where he is, and they don't even let him get one. Rise locks off the Flawless for Vitality, and this is their perfect opening.
Very good second round coming down right here from Vitality. Just playing it slow, keeping the members upstairs, using the verticality and using the nitros available to you to try and pick up some kills, just to ease it down a little bit for those 2 members upstairs. Also really like to see the grenade coming in, displacing, I believe it was Cactus, who then went a bit more aggressive and landed a kill in the back of that. So, grenade really not working out as intended right there. Vitality up to 2-0 right now, but of course it is a defense-sided map, and only now we are going to the tertiary bomb site. Vitality going to kitchen service, kitchen cooking, might be their weakest bomb site, and they would choose it as the 3rd one And that means that this is the opportunity for NaVi. This is where they need to pick up the round right now if they want to be staying into this half, because as soon as Vitality are going to be able to complete that full rotation, it is only going to be harder from there on for NaVi.
Well, NaVi, you are struggling to get that open hold. Obviously, you found the opening kill in the first round with some well-played and placed grenades, but the hop-out came almost instantaneously, and from then on, it was the back foot since. So, what's the adaptation we might see? More caution was the previous call to arms, as they started with a pretty slow take over the top, and it just seemed like they couldn't dismantle either of the two bodies on the top floor, regardless of how much utility and a body was thrown their way. It seems like Vitality, again, they're happy to be a little bit aggressive and flirt with a little bit of danger on Dostoyevsky, but otherwise keep themselves, I guess, calm and collected on the site itself.
Vitality, they're the ones that have to make, well, some points enter their side of that scoreboard. But the same goes for NaVi. They want to be ending up in that first place. And I have been talking about it a little bit on the desk before today. 6 Invitational 2022 points are being given away at the end of the stage, and it will rely on the place where you actually end up. So that first place is worth so much more than that second or even third. And NaVi, they want to take that. They are the ones that managed to get the head-to-head on BDS, something no other team were able to complete as of yet. And right now, we do see a quick drop coming down onto the red hatch, a quick yokai drone trying to burst some sonic burst into Cactus right there, just slowing him down, making sure he's not going to be proceeding too quickly, or secretly, I must say. Sorry.
I think potentially it was also just to disguise the drone as well. I think they were like, well, this is going to get rumbled quick, so let's hit him and dip. And they're using these as steady information gatherers as they just keep them kind of agile and around. There's the pings on a Gemini that doesn't quite exist, with Nath still watching above, waiting for somebody to try and press the aggression onto the blue bodies that have slipped into the site itself so far. Steady catching of IQ to drop any of the potential around the freezer wall itself. I'm not sure if the Echo drone was still there, and if they missed it, it is, and they have. And I guess let's see if this comes back to bite them.
Yeah, that is going to be the big question, right? Are they going to be able to take care of that utility before it will punish them? Because right now, a lot of the verticality is being opened up by NaVi. They're trying to create these angles. Basically, the default ones. You're trying to put as much pressure onto the side as possible, forcing them to play offsides or into very specific places, which you can then go onto and focus to when you're actually execute. And NaVi continue to do so for probably the next 20 seconds or so before they start hitting the actual side directly. And with doing that, you're going to be trying to flush out just enough so you can potentially push your plan down the freezer hatch.
Doki dropped by P4. He was pretty injured, but he was able to hold his own and stop the IQ on the swing in, and that leaves those drones in the hand of Cactus dangerous, and dangerous with 40 seconds often turns into lethal. Rise, though, is stepping up alongside Bibu to find one apiece, and yet again, NaVi can't find their feet inside the building, truly being dropped before they can either start to pressure the site itself. It's Blur who gets one, but he's otherwise just kind of locked in the bakery with 15 seconds left.
Yeah, there's not much time, and he needs to go quickly if he wants to win this round. Not going to be trying to save the KD right here as he's cutting the corner very slowly right here. He's not able to find anybody as of yet, and as he checks the back for the second time, Bibu is there to pick up that final kill, and Vitality put themselves up the 3 rounds right now, and you can see at the top of the live rankings, this is not helping NaVi so far. They are on 2nd place, and Vitality is looking to burst themselves up into that top 4 position, which is so wanted by many of these teams. You want to be in that top 4 table. You do not want to be in that middle or even bottom table. Vitality really eager after all the criticism they have been receiving at the start of their roster. Really eager to show that they have what it takes, that they are indeed a super French team that is able to compete with the best.
Wow, a perfect rotation here, and I guess when we were asking which Vitality were we going to see, this is the one. They're very, very calm and calculated in terms of how they want to lock this down, but also they're happy to play that aggression game. They're not letting NaVi get any of their own pace rolling. They're cutting them off before they get the setup. They're making sure that they can kind of nip at the ankles and put the aggression and keep them guessing and keep them questioning just how safe and how locked in they are. And NaVi, we can see them start to do parts of setup, and that's the problem, is they're not being allowed to finish them, and they're feeling like they have to start getting the ground in. So far, this is Vitality's pacing perfectly. What can NaVi pull to try and dethrone this hold?
That's it. Luckily, though, for them, with plenty of time seeing the teams improve on the second half of the attack. And that is, of course, the round 4 to 6. And basically, NaVi only need 2 rounds if they want to have a decent health right here, Fluke. So it is not over yet. It is only round number 4, meaning there's still 3 to be played. However, if Vitality is going to be able to keep up this momentum, this is going to be very huge. Look at this, by the way. You have Rise below the red hatch. Yes, indeed. You have P4 below the cigar balcony hatch. So they're just waiting for one to open up. There it comes. That's the C4. That's the kill as well. It is secretly done. A second C4 will, however, complete the job he was meant to do. And a quick trade coming in from Doki on P4, but Rise able to shut that one down. A very explosive start here for Vitality to this round.
Wow, they quickly swung around and dropped the body on the window as well. Sure, they found P4, but you look at what's been taken out of the approach here from NaVi. They've lost half of their, well, they've lost 2 of 6 of their frag grenades, actually, and then they've also lost their ash charges as well, and it's a hefty bit of utility for the push style that they've wanted. They have backups, and they have this still pretty sorted collection of thrown utilities and the ability to burn through the routes and routines as we are seeing. At the same time, though, what a blow.
Definitely a big blow right there for the likes of NaVi. Will not help them trying to get back into this health, but they're not slowing down yet. Nave getting the Gemini close and personal. They have to use a frag grenade to get rid of the Banshee that was located into the cabinet. I'm not sure if they actually got the mute as well, allowing for a potential push from that Gemini right after. But Rise is aware of the fact that there is going to be some players down into Cigar. Blur will be pushing from the rotation hole he just created himself, while Yana is pushing right through that doorway. But Lukashenko, he still has a C4 available. Is that going to be a third C4 kill coming in? He's definitely ready for it. He's just waiting for the call to be made. It's going to be just tossing it in blindly, however. Not able to pick up a kill. Will now have to rotate back to the site, as the rest of Vitality is just waiting for the 3 men of NaVi to finally hit it.
Yeah, went with a gasped idea, but it gives the game away that someone's beneath them, and that's a concern when you're watching with a man down, is you can't truly dictate someone to the angle. Saves. He's hopped up to the skylight to put pressure down the middle of the route. Cactus is getting himself overstimmed, and while gets dropped before he can make the Pro 90 work, there's Nath picking up some revenge, and finally NaVi have some momentum and have themselves on the site. Either side is being watched. There is a hop over. There's Saves getting one more. The final body, they know where it is, and saves the round.
There you have it, NaVi. I was going to say, it's really hard for them to still get back into it, but they're not giving up. And as they managed to basically flush out the piano, put some pressure down there with just a drone. A failed C4 coming in right after could have actually saved them the round if they held on to that a little bit longer. It was tossed in without any information being given in. Basically resulted in no information, no impact either. And Vitality really could have used that piece of utility right there to stop that planter, to stop that push in the middle of the site right there. Just toss it in. Could have been a double kill. Either way, NaVi, even though they lost very early on, they lost Doki, they lost secretly due to some spawn peaks and some spawn kill C4s. How do you even call that? We're able to still turn it around.
That there was the second one prepped that exploded if the first one didn't catch as well. Like, they kind of, they yes. set themselves up for this idea of, okay, well, they'll either go for this one first or this one, but we have, like, whichever one he goes for, he's going to go for the next one almost instantly. So he's not going to survive. He's not surviving. He's not leaving this minefield.
And he did not. Question is, as we are going back, oh, you have again. See, Rise ready. As soon as this opens up, you know that he's going to be walking that way due to the fact that you want to open up that second hatch. And then the moment he drops and hits the deck, the second one blows up just to BM a little bit. Bit of overkill.
I don't think
they managed to get the clip.
You actually saw
no, it's not BM.
In the replay, you saw exactly when he threw it, which was as the first one was thrown, he was like, set the second one up. Get it ready.
Get it ready.
So it was a beautiful synchrony of death.
Yeah, there was no way he was going to get out of that alive. Otherwise, like, after he opened up the hatch, he was almost basically already dead. There was no way he was going to be able to run away from that quickly enough. Only opportunity he would have had was one of the teammates covering it off, but it doesn't matter anymore. What was done has been done. They still managed to win the round. That's what's important. And NaVi right now trying to put some pressure down. Will be taking care of the prox alarm before it actually gives away that they were coming down from the white stairs. That is going to be helping them a lot, trying to push up in the future.
Ibu on the top floor, and alright, it's looking like he wants to be on the bottom as secretly opens up and takes care of P4. He's had a pretty big game so far, but Rise catches Doki at the bottom of the stairs. He's able to make sure he can lock him out. There's Nath, though, getting some revenge onto Bibu, but here's Rise looking for another bit of a fight of his own. Hops out, dropped down before he even began, and Nath, well, by the time we get to him, he's already looking at a different window.
He's that quick. Took a bit too long to go for the jump out there. Managed to instantly flick to him and, well, get it right before he managed to succeed. And now there's only 2 members left. We have Shinka and Cactus. One playing on that top floor, hoping to still establish some form of top control. The other one being on the side, but the A bomb side is completely open right now. You see a member being repelled up there. I believe it saves indeed. He's going to be thinking about potentially entering Blur at the bottom of the white stairs, looking to jump through that rotation that has been created by Shinka. Set themselves up for that plans. Yes, there are some holes being made. Yes, there will be some holes to try and deny it. Of course, Saves will still be on that window. Saves will still be there to try and cover his teammate. And as Nath is now opening up some of the windows as well to put up some extra pressure, they're really starting to try and hit the one man on side. Shinka, that is.
Well, there's a grenade round the corner, and Shinka almost caught the head of the man throwing it, but they escape and actually slip past to the other side of pillars. The C4 might get ripped, torn, and thrown over, and you look at the health of Nath, and it puts you in this question of will he be able to survive it as Blur sticks on the other side. Shinka dropped, and they pre-fire towards Cactus and then finish the job. NaVi, they've been able to pull 2 rounds back, and oh yeah, they're not ready to take this one lying down.
That's what I said, right? You only need 2 rounds and you're going to have yourself a decent half as the attacker. So what started off really poorly here for NaVi, they managed to already come back to and secure at least those 2 rounds. And it's not over yet. There's still another round to be won. There's still another round to be played right here. And NaVi know that as well. They also have the opportunity now to go for the 3-3 even split. And while Vitality, who looked so strong then in these first 3 rounds, really would be having a little bit of a downfall in the middle of this game, as NaVi able to strike back, packing themselves back up together. NaVi really able to perform right now in these last 2 rounds and looking to make that 3 as the line, I believe, gets picked up to try and help with a roam clear or potential push down here on that kitchen.
I am curious, obviously, where that kind of gets brought and dropped. Obviously, it's something where, you know, sure, we've seen them struggle with some of the aggression on the roam from the hands of Vitality, but at the same time, they started to pick it up. They started to realize that they could set the pace. So you obviously, as soon as a line pops up, you're like, you know, it's a bit of a big use of utility to swing on and get those angles and the pressure, which we know Vitality can bite back and fight against before, but at the same time, they might just read, well, why are we doing that? Why not try and apply this quick pressure?
Green there, but looking amazing to see how these 3 members on Vitality have been able to completely swap up the playstyle and momentum that they've had and turn to from a team that was close to be relegated to a team right now that's fighting to get themselves into that top 4, maybe even more, because they have been getting alive over these last couple of games, much like Rogue has been. Their streak has been ended. They lost to BDS just a game before this, but Vitality still have the opportunity right here to take down one of the top 3 giants. If they manage to do so, they will be, well, thanked by BDS, first of all, but themselves are going to be very happy as well with another 3 points potentially to secure themselves a top 4 position.
Drone already popping off on the man who drops down this time. They put pressure down towards P4 with the angle on the opposite side. They're not going to get suckered out of it this time round as Cactus... guess I'm curious to see if that drone survived. By the looks of it, no. I think as he swapped back to the standard camera and pulls his one that's still back on site, back to a more amicable position, isn't using it to have the roaming camera that they had before. There you go. And there's the E1D. It's followed up by waiting as the pressure comes on the bottom of White stairs.
Sometimes, of course, the E1D gets used to secure themselves a little bit of ground, just a little bit. You don't always have to go for the gunfight. Of course, many might argue that when you pop that E1D, you need to swing everything as aggressively as you can because they will be standing still. But sometimes it is also just you want to use some of your utility. For other members, you use that E1D as a bit of a cover piece. And as I say, that Shinka able to pick up the C4 down onto secretly. That is going to be the entry of the round. And there's going to be 80 seconds left on that clock. NaVi still working on opening up the verticals, but they lost a very crucial member to do so. Still, of course, have tons of breaching rounds available for themselves to work with. Just have to make sure that they are going to be made useful and that they are going to be able to benefit from them as Rice. Hiding in VIP will be holding a angle later on as soon as they decide to go for that hatch. It's just trying to hide right now. So they're not going to be aware. They're not going to be worried about a member being in VIP, waiting for the hatch drop to occur.
Well, now 40 seconds left, and they're still trying to solidify some of their positions and control of the site itself. There is a body just round to the corner of Doki, who's going to get dropped around the Christmas tree. I suppose this could start telling the story. He goes for the fight, and he pre-fires it and takes it. Now it's a 4 versus 3. The E1D aided some of that, but obviously against the Vigil, not too much. 3 versus 2, but one of those is that Echo on those drones. He's holding angles for now and waiting for the pop round. Drops the man, and then hops back onto the drone to see if he can catch the diffuser planter. It's stuck round on the close corners, moving and agile. They drop it. They're able to find the kill. They're concerned of the pop-up. They're not quite sure where it is. They've dropped the man. That's the only bit of cover, and NaVi lose it. Vitality. They carry themselves round for the 4-2.
Cactus getting that kill down into the hallway, absolutely crucial. They thought they were going to be able to get away with the plan. They were checking for yokais. They knew it was potentially still there. And a very smart play right there, actually, just moving the yokai a little bit backwards. So he is going to be able to get an angle just over the bar. And while that is only going to be one way in that case, just dropping it back down instantly again, not giving them any opportunity of trying to get it. That forces NaVi to go aggressive afterwards. You saw that. You saw the member stepping out. You saw him trying to go for the kill onto the Echo, so they could go for that plant. It was being covered off. And while Vitality able to pick themselves up a 4th round as they continue to be in the lead. And while it could have been better, it could have been worse, however. NaVi now on their defense are going to be well aware of that as well.
4-2, NaVi, you've done what is for a lot of teams enough, but for you, I know you're wanting to step it up. You can see those little parts of your play that you can fine-tune, and you've got your defense to see if you can, well, I guess, drive yourself to the end. Vitality, you've done well. It started strong, faltered a little bit in the middle, but locked off for some momentum on your hand, on your half, on your turn. Will your pace of approach be something a bit sharper than what NaVi could muster in their early rounds?
Now, this first round is going to be very important, as if Vitality will be able to pick up an attacking win straight away, that is going to be putting some immense pressure down onto NaVi. Of course, it's not going to be the 6th round yet. It's not the points being probably tossed away. And with that, guaranteed losing that first place for now. But it is going to be showing that Vitality is going to be able to bring the pace, and they are going to be able to bring the attacking wins that they need. And if it is already happening in the first out of 6 rounds, it's definitely not something you're going to be happy about, as D4 a bit worried himself about a potential C4. Will be holding it off. The second one just blew up, I believe. Is that over the other hatch? I think it was.
Yeah, they tried to do the same game, waited for the first to break, and then went for the second. But Vitality, they kept their distance.
Outsmarted them. Knew what the flaw in their tactic would be and used it themselves right now. So Vitality got a second hatch for free. Took out a piece of the C4 utility. That, well, the only C4 that NaVi have available, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. What they can do now is try and take some ground. Need to take Cigar first. That is going to be the first point of interest, and it's P4, the man that's tasked on trying to get it. He's on the top of red. It's going to be firstly probably waiting for a drone to come in so they can finally go for that gunfight.
That's a lot of weighing up right now and a lot of pressure on whoever gets this first interaction. There's a slow potential swing from a Nash. Nath looks away at maybe just the wrong time, enough to get back. As one swings round, the first pellets are thrown, and Nobody is truly caught. P4 obviously injured, but could have been a lot worse for either side. Nath goes for a bit of an explore around the bottom of the red stairs. He's toying with the idea of a potential run out, and he obviously doesn't have his C4 at this moment in time, so can't hit the bottom of those soft wood bits. Sees the hatches open itself as they set themselves up for the take across piano.
Now was waiting to potentially go up the red stairs, but Cactus is holding that. So right now, Vitality have control over Cigar, a really important piece of this map, a really important piece for this setup. And what they want to take next is, of course, Piano, but there's that one man down in the washroom, Doki. Able to pick up the kill. P4 will go down. That is going to be the momentum that they need on the side of NaVi, but Rise is going to be able to straight up swing in and get that kill. Right now, control of Piano also in the hands of Vitality, and this could be very good for them. They can try and catapult themselves, slingshot themselves into the site from here on, and hopefully go for a plant.
Well, Rise is thinking about hopping over and trying to apply some aggression to those bodies at the back. Blur locked down across the two balconies with the LMG as Nath finally finds his way up round the red stairs. He needs to apply some pressure now as the body count has finally fallen against them, and Bibu decides to push it even further with a triple. Nath is caught in his own smoke as Shinka's downed. They're going to stick the diffuser fire on the opposite side. They know where he is and they know how to try and play against him, but they don't even let them put the diffuser down. Vitality find their first attack round.
There you have it, and I said it. This is a very important round. If Vitality manage to find this, they are truly taking the momentum into their own hands right here. 5 more rounds for them to pick up one of the attack to secure themselves 1 point and overtime. And with that, the opportunity to go for the full 3. Don't forget that. That's the most important part here. That's what Vitality is out for. They want to grab those 3 points. And BDS, they must be looking at this match right now thinking, all right, boys, you beat us last week, but you're going to be having a hard time now. You're going to be giving back that first place to us. Thank you for keeping it warm and tidy. Now, come on, Vitality. Our French brothers, do what you must do. Yeah. Set yourselves up in that top 4.
Bit of French revenge.
Yeah, you think you beat the top French team, and then you're like, all right, let's go. And then the second French team comes in.
Bonjour.
It's like, bonjour.
I don't know what.
No.
Yeah, if I knew more French, like Miloš, I would say.
Revenge is French.
I would say something clever in.
Revenge.
Is that true? Is revenge revenge?
I believe it is. I'm not 100% sure. Medic says it's baguette.
I don't think that's right. I don't
really agree with that. I don't think that's right. He's been in France a lot longer than us, so he should know.
France a lot longer than us. And I believe he's learning it. He's using a language learning app. It's going well.
Really?
I think maybe you should refund maybe refund that app, medics. We can confirm revenge is not baguette in French, but what is just as delicious for French viewers is how Vitality are playing this so far. Bibu obviously careening around and getting a triple was a big play, and from that point onwards they're able to swing the momentum into their round. You need a big player to stand up at the front of a roster, the tip of the spear, put the pressure and find some success, and so far NaVi haven't quite been able to have that across the board. A lot of players are generally struggling. Saves has had
see what's happening.
Standout moments. No.
There's a hatch in freezer. There's an Amaru in freezer with the diffuser. That is the actual side. Do you see any rotation holes? I don't either. This is going to be very quick right here. I think they are unaware of the player in train, though. P4 is looking to go in. You see a lot of grenades being used on the white stairs right now. That's the gunfight they want to win. He's in right now. There comes the plant. 45 seconds soon on the clock. They're unaware on the likes of NaVi. They managed to get a kill, however. Will they be too late? Yes, it's too late. See him. No, will go down. And the Amaru will drop down back through the hatch. 45 seconds. No, actually 40 now. And Saves will be on the top of white stairs, so they have some pressure. But Cactus is in a very good position on the upside down rappel to try and challenge it.
Oh, well, P4, he's under, and they're looking, and they're not finding. He's waiting for someone to try and peek onto this, and he gets dropped on his root rack round. There is Doki, taking this opportunity to try and get this diffuser done. He's close, but close does make it. He hit the other 2 players.
Protect the president.
Blur and secretly threw themselves in front of President Doki, and he got the diffuse. What was that round?
There's no way that you can blame Cactus for that. He got 2 kills on that one swing. There's no way you think, all right, there's going to be a third one that's actually defusing at that moment in time. Very unlucky that he's not going to be able to secure that round right there. I really like the play and the pressure that Vitality put up. And it should have been the 6-3 right now. It should have been 6-2, I must say. It should have been match point for Vitality. But protect the president. The strategy coming in right here. Doki going for that defuse. Everybody throw everything you have, your bodies and your lives, right in front of him. Make sure that that window is going to be useless. Tanking all the shots. And does NaVi. They will stay into this game for just a round longer right now. But there's a lot of pressure being put down from Vitality. A lot of quick plays and nifty plays. And NaVi unable to respond as of yet. Of course, that defuse coming in, saving the round, but that's about it.
It was a very, like, what is it with French teams pulling off those Amaru diffusers?
First Tempera, now this.
Yep. There was, we've seen Tempera do it on Oregon. We've seen, was it Tempera who did it on Villa as well?
Not sure. Could be, actually. I mean, they were, oh my, look at this. You see,
I like how he shot the diffuser first.
And he didn't register the third. And you cannot blame Cactus for that. There 3 people are literally, there's 3 people left, right? You would maybe expect one to try and challenge a different corner or angle rather than all 3 sitting on the same square centimeter of the map.
Hey, if it works.
If it works, it works. I'm not blaming it, but like you cannot blame Cactus for that because he got 2 kills out of that. He just was not aware of the fact there was a third.
Okay, 5-3 Navi. It's not quite over yet, but obviously skinnier teeth is no way you want to pull yourself back through the round. So let's see what you've changed here to set yourself up for more of a story of success. They are quick to try and burn their way through these hatches, but they're also concerned of the potential C4 on the hatch. But nobody from the guns of NaVi is holding Cigar this time. They've dropped out, rotated off. It wasn't where they lost themselves before, but look at the hole leading just into Cigar from the Christmas in the piano room. It's ready and waiting for a C4 to be lopped underneath. They have prepped themselves for the potential of more damage done on a rotation underneath. They realized it wasn't truly contested, so let's punish them for that.
Remind Safe still has a black eye in pocket. Could use this on the late round when they actually are in need of information, or for example with the default cam gets taken out. Just toss it up there again, because this weakness, if you look at this take, is literally a plant right behind one of these cabinets, because it's very south heavy, it's very white heavy, and Saves is the one that needs to make sure that the plant is not going to be coming down just out of nowhere. And he has that C4 and he has a black eye to do so, so he has the tools. He just needs the backup of his teammates when the time is actually there. His Knave is trying to slow them down, spots out 2 people in Cigar, one on top of the red stairs, and a lot of pressure is coming down. They want to use the concussions to try and slow them down, but P4 in the meantime, they're all entering. Just 3 people down onto the side. Blur is going to be taking out 1, but there is Vitality able to pick up a couple of kills, but it's NaVi that somehow reigns supreme so far. Only up to Rise, however. 1v2 situation up against the Clash and Secretly.
That is not great in anyone's books. The Clash, you can see her steadily making her way back over like a nightmare that's getting a little bit closer as that shield tries to get some control of where they are. Oh, there they are. You combine that with the possibility of the smoke on the opposite side. Well, Rise, you've got a tough battle ahead of you. They've stacked themselves up either side. They're doubling down with their support structure, sure. 40 seconds. Rise has the potential to go on a big rotate, but you know as soon as the intel comes through of where you are, you're going to be met by a Clash, a lot of electricity, and then probably not long after the guns of the smoke. The canister falls over to Cigar. They're going to make sure you don't just, well, you do just dip your way in, start to put pressure onto and pick the diffuser back up. You're looking for the other fight, but they find you first, and NaVi find themselves back within only a round.
Ooh, all right, there you have it. We're getting closer to the equalizer right here. NaVi able to make this defense stick using that Clash. In that 1v2 situation right there to get the information, slow down the attacker's approach. But it was a very good read again from Vitality. They realized, okay, 1 or 2 people have an angle onto the side. The rest is not directly on it. We might have the opportunity to outrun them and overrun the sides. Now, they tried, unfortunately failed, as the 2 members of NaVi were too strong, too quick on the trigger. The high pace, pressure, tempo that is coming down from Vitality is definitely helping them. It's definitely getting them close towards that 6th round, the also wanted 6th round, as it would secure themselves at least a point, which would be already very helpful. And would, of course, NaVi be very painful.
Okay, Vitality, things haven't quite gone your way these past 2 rounds, but to be fair, the first of those 2 was close. That was the strongest that we've seen NaVi look on their defense so far, but it kind of still came down to a very scrappy gunfight in the middle of the room where the body trades just went a little bit further away from you. Can you be the one that break that playday streak in the top left of NaVi? All dubs, and you with a couple of L's in your pockets.
All right, 4-5. Going into round number 10 right now. We're down in the basement. Well, not really basement, it's 1st floor rather. Or ground floor, as we would say. Same for you guys. Down in the kitchen, that is. And there is going to be a bit of a top floor roam. We have Blur putting down some of the pests, making sure that the drones are going to be having a hard time to be entering. Looks like Vitality is having none of that, though. They're looking to directly hit the site. You wouldn't be putting Rise into a position that he's currently in if you want to be opening up many vertical holes. So what I'm thinking is that we're yet again going to be seeing a bit of a quick play right here. It looks like Vitality is very well aware of the fact that this might be a weakness for the likes of NaVi. And as the termite charges are going up, they already have opened up both walls. And it can build on from here. They can try and just take it from there because there's only one person on site. The rest is all off site, but they have angles into that side. They have angles into that breach. That is something Vitality needs to be very careful of.
Nath is steadily opening things up, but Rise is doing the same. Takes care of saves, and that's the Legion off the board, sure, but it's also a big gun. There's one more. Shinka finds Doki and starts to pull the bodies out of the furnace and make sure that they can keep this kitchen cool. Blur tries to creep up long and see if there's anybody on the far side. They are holding an angle, but it's more making sure nobody has a quick approach down from the staircase itself as he actually creeps himself back onto the site to keep an eye on those breaches. Nath has the potential to try and rotate down red and get a close swing on a body, but is concerned, obviously, when you're playing with this man disadvantage. You're waiting for them to try and make a move so you can punish them for it. Oh, he just slips by. Does he slip further? Blur finds one, the C4 onto Shinka. There is the flash over the top, and there is a lot of bodies. Wow, bullets into the body of Secretly.
Grenade coming in right there. P4 will be able to take out Nave. So that is going to be 2 members left now on the likes of NaVi. Blur will be taking out next as Rice to get that kill. And it's only up to Secretly now. Has 2 smoke canisters, but he needs to do everything with about 20 HP. The defuse in the meantime going down. 4 seconds left onto that timer, and he will be taken out. B-Boo securing that kill. Picking up the 6th round that we were talking about, Fluke. BDS is back into 1st place. It is NaVi that lost it right here. And now they need to make sure that they are doing damage control. They need to make sure that they get the 2 points from this game, or at least the 1. They cannot go home here without any points, because that is basically counting them out for the rest of this stage and the fights that are yet to come for this last week.
It puts them in a bit of a tricky situation here, but you've got to give credit. Vitality have been playing very, very well. As I said at the very beginning of this, pace and aggression. You look at Rise and BB, both top of the board, with 21 kills between the pair of them. They've been able to lead on those swings of aggression. They've been able to have a handle on what their opponents have been wanting to do throughout this entirety of this game, and they aren't scared of throwing themselves at Natus Vincere, which a lot of other teams have been. So, I guess it tells the story of where we're at, but it doesn't mean it's over for NaVi. We know they have this ability to step up and pull plays out when they're most needed. We've seen them do it before when they've been suffering on this exact situation in terms of round count and positioning. Can they, I guess, try and replicate what they've done against teams like Virtus Pro?
Can they bring it back from here? NaVi. Who is going to step up? Blur. Are you going to make these amazing plays again that we have seen? The ace starting it off in round number 11 it was back then, followed up by a clutch right afterwards from a vertical angle. We've seen you do it once before, Blur. Are you going to be the one that steps up right here? Or is it going to be Doki, the man that we saw getting so many entry frags already over the season? Or Saves, who we all know for his, well, magnificent saves that we have seen over the course of Siege history? Is any of these members going to be stepping up right now and stopping Vitality dead in its tracks? Or is it Vitality that will just walk away with the 3 points, laughing at everybody who criticized them at the start of the stage? Which one will it be?
Still cautious as they go for their approach, making sure they don't get caught out by those swings of C4 aggression that they, I guess, both put pressure onto NaVi with and also suffered almost once before. They know that they're on map point, but they're keeping themselves calm and level because they know how precious the fight around the mid-table is getting, and if they can pull some blood from the bodies above them, well, that is really going to put them in a good mood and a bit of success story as they push themselves further and further. Blur dances dangerously around Pixel, peppers bullets towards the windows to see if they catch anybody other than the frames itself, but otherwise just kind of ruining the handiwork of the architects.
Doki hiding in the corner, trying to make sure he goes for a bit of a hero play, you can almost say. Managed to pick up 1, 2, and then drop down into safety. It'd be very helpful. P4 in the meantime, however, is right below him, and they don't seem to be aware. Drone not spotting him out either. Trying to take care of the evil eye that is finding itself inside fireplace, but that will be taken care of with an impact grenade. And P4 is very well aware of the fact that Nave might be peeking from the balcony, but as he rotates around, it might be that actually the side's going to be hit right now, and there's still 2 members, 3 members actually on the top floor. They're starting to rotate down now from the white stairs. Nave already almost losing his life right there. There's only 65 seconds left on the clock. Doki able to pick up 1, Doki able to pick up 2 before he gets taken down himself. That might be the play that they need on the likes of NaVi to get themselves back into this round.
Well, you said the possibility of a hero play, and it came together there as Doki was able to get that drop down and took care of P4 and Cactus. But P4, as I said, was still locked down, still keeping a firm eye. That Echo drone might be the big problem that they find themselves suffering a little bit later if they do try and stick the diffuser in fireplace, where they have been opening up so far and keeping their angles. With only 30 seconds, it would be tough for them to go to a full rotate, but it seems like steadily they want to either put pressure up the bottom of white, which is currently uncontested, and draw some attention and eyes away from it. Blur is trying to keep things locked down as Save suffers up top. He needs to be the body they keep standing, especially as we get closer and closer to the end of the round, especially with that drone just caught around the corner, and make sure that they get cooked as soon as they enter. But Blur's going to drop them as they swing around Zulu. There's the aggro against the Echo, and that is a very important take. Dropped on the opposite side. Suddenly just Shinka versus the world. Knows where 1 is, but he's a little bit lower than that. Goes for the stick and secretly hits him with the boomstick.
The boomstick indeed, and he flew off. Just shot right above him, as you can see. Must be a scary experience right there. They managed to make it stick. 5-6. Right now, the score of NaVi are starting to climb back, and they need 1 more round if they want to be able to secure themselves at least that 1 point and try and fight for the 2. Damage control, we would call it. But vitality over the, well, of course, this match has been in the driver's seat, I dare to say, of the majority of it. One of the rounds, of course, clutched out. Was a plant very early on. We saw the Yamaru dropping through the hatch, really getting that plant down. And it was Cactus that didn't know there was apparently a 3rd one on that diffuser. And right now, NaVi, on the back of that clutch, have the opportunity to fight for overtime. They have the opportunity to fight for the 6th round. They have the opportunity to try and go for damage control. As Vitality is hoping that they will be putting up those 3 points and will allow themselves to move up. You already saw them drop down 1 place in the back of round differential right there. They're in 5th now. Might be popping back up to 4th if they win yet another round, because right now the round differential is, of course, 1.
Stacked up with poke mats to see if they can come through in the tradition that they have for G2. And actually, in the opening game of today, we saw 2 people caught in mats. I think it was Empire suffered on entrances, as well as, I'm trying to remember what was the opening game of the day was now. It was VP
I was off on that one.
It was
there we go.
Yeah, and two players caught in maps in the same round.
All right. Oh, I like this. Make a little bit of a rotation. Put the frost mat right behind him. Attackers trying to push with some extra pace, which is something we've definitely been seeing from Vitality here today. We'll just be using that rotation like it's their own. Accidentally hopping into the poke mat. It's not something you want to happen, especially not in this round. Round number 12, match point. Last one you will have for a bit. You need to make sure this one sticks if you want to go for the full 3 points. You are the one that has the opportunity to Vitality. It's yours to lose.
Still slow and steady. They are still 1 round away from a full fat 3 points, which looks so delicious with all the fighting that's going on close to and around them, especially with, I guess, Rogue obviously stumbling a little bit as well. It gives them the opportunity to try and catch up to the top of the board if they can make NaVi stumble too. And we obviously saw how it went for G2 earlier today as well. It's a great opportunity for Vitality to make up some ground here, and this is the round that they can really do the most damage. Blur, he's holding around Pixel. He's dancing dangerously and hoping someone comes for him. It's Rise that might be the first confrontation, but he's concerned about rotating around. Doesn't want to get caught out by a close angle, so instead goes a bit wide. Is it wise? Well, Doki drops Shinka, so wherever that was, that wasn't.
I thought that was going to be the shot from Blur coming down right there with the P10 run. He was ready to gasp, and I did, but unfortunately it was for the wrong one. Neither way, it is NaVi managing to pick up the opening kill yet again, but BB was going to be able to respond, and Doki now to put some pressure down. He knows that they have to go for an execute anytime soon. There's about a minute left on that clock. He's giving away his position there. Bibu now knows he's close on the door frame. He's just waiting for the peak to come in. Doki, if he sets 1 foot to the right, his head will be taken clean off right here, but Bibu was the rest of Vitality's trying to take ground elsewhere.
Well, Bibu is actually rotated off to find a different angle as Rise suffers. You can see the steady approach towards those pillars as Cactus drops secretly with some big shots there. There's P4. Waits for the camera, saw it flicked on and went, well, I'm not going to play that game, as they drop them out from the opposite side. 30 seconds, wherever they push, they've got to push hard and heavy. Cactus wants to try and make his way in, but he's concerned of somebody just above him, and rightfully so. We can see the rotation coming through there, and if they get caught out with the diffuser down on these back stairs by Blur, that could be the disaster being spelled out for them that puts them into OTP4 is the one that's going up to try and find the fight and draw some attention away so they can try and slip this diffuser in. This could be it, the kill that matters the most in this round. There it is, P4 drops the man, and instantly Cactus floods himself into the site. Has to stick this and make it count, and Malusi is the one that could stop it. Saves though, swings round, and we're in OT.
We're in OT indeed, and they saw it. They knew exactly what to cover. The member was there, but the gunfight won by saves. Able to perfectly transfer it over as well, making sure that Termite had no chance of getting that diffuser down. And NaVi find themselves in OT yet again after being down 6-4. And right now have the opportunity to go for the 2 points themselves. Both have secured one. Who's going to be walking away with the last one that is remaining? As I believe a tactical timeout will be called from Vitality. They just lost their game point, their match point, their 3-pointers point twice in a row. And they now have to, get back together. All right, guys, calm down. We know we have the advantage if we bring the initiative to them. And that is, again, what they're going to be trying to achieve probably in the next round. You saw over the last couple of rounds, they slowed down a little bit. And with that, NaVi able to strike back.
I think that's it as well. As NaVi, they work quite well in pressure situations that we've seen. Sometimes if they're pushed against the wall, we get some of the most outlandish play from them. The situation there where obviously they seem to be a little bit more like, we've got to step it up. We've got to bring another level to this. Vitality, for their game so far, they've been hitting some outstanding shots across the board, and they really led in with that, and they were able to kind of control a lot of this game with that and with the ability to win their ones in those situations. But NaVi are scrappy. They're able to keep finding themselves in these little, just round-winning bites at, I guess, success and prosperity. And sure, there are some moments throughout this where maybe things and the winds of luck have blown their way a little bit, but they know how to press themselves into the chance of taking an advantage.
It is what brought them to the top table in the first place. The many hero plays we've seen, Blur against VP, Doki in the early games just going absolutely insane, grabbing so many kills for the likes of NaVi. And right now again, some good team play. Doki able to pop off in one of the rounds, and the other day just managed to stall out enough time. So Vitality couldn't go for an execute, couldn't go for a plant right there. NaVi managed to claw themselves back into a match from a 6-4 deficit up to overtime. And this one is going to be important as well. They want to stay ahead of the game. They want to make sure that they pick up the 2 right here, especially now they have the opportunity to. But Vitality, they're also very hungry.
I think that's it. 4-2 on the split either side. Vitality, though, they're obviously going to feel like a couple of those rounds could have been theirs and maybe would have been if 1 or 2 bullets had gone a slightly different way. So they're still cooked. They still want to put this pressure on fast and instantly dropping grenades to the top skylight, see if they can catch anybody there as a lead in, sure, but it hasn't led to anything as of yet. Pressure pressed upon, obviously red windows and all of those staircases and everything that's around that angle as the camera gets dropped in the corner. That limits and cuts off some of the eyes and impressions, but we can see a body playing around inside train. Potentially with the C4, it's Doki, and secretly I think is around there too. Yeah, just off the corner, they have 2 C4s not too far away to try and apply some pressure here quick if they wanted to. Secretly for now is just going to stick on cams.
I'm going to try and give out some calls to the members playing. The Doki, of course, has an open hatch right above him. That's the opportunity to try and go for an advantageous peek right there, hopefully picking someone up, but the amount of time left. We do see a very aggressive peek right here coming down. Right, he's not able to land the Yepler, somehow tries to escape, but will fail to do so. Cactus from the piano window will be picking him up. And it's going to be the entry right here that is necessary for Vitality to potentially slingshot themselves into a very last second take again, but this time with a man advantage, this time having the opportunity to go for these trades, as still 2 members find themselves on the top floor, I believe, in the likes of NaVi.
Now the pressure comes the same way they wanted to plant before, but this time they're diversifying themselves just a little as P4 starts to clean his way towards the door of the library around the pillar's side. They got themselves a little bit bottlenecked before inside Fireplace and found themselves having to recoup and recount their losses in a much more dangerous manner. This way, they'll open themselves to more options and more possibility of trying to get a little bit of a last-minute rotation and I guess dig themselves in a different direction, and it keeps them with a bit of a lock and control here to stop that drop as well from before. Shinka finds Doki, obviously the man who swung the momentum this time last time. Another nice shot comes through and secretly takes care of P4 in the meantime. Hits them with a yes as the response to the nice shot there. Less seen, but hey, it's OT. Why not flirt with danger?
The gun 6 was used there to breach open the wall next to the fireplace, and Bibu now playing from here, hoping to find secretly as he is trying to rotate around. There's about 10 seconds left on that clock. They need to go for that. Plans as Rise will be able to take down the last piece of top control secretly. Will be dropped as well. Nave now needs to drop down. He needs to go aggressive, but he will fail to do so. Cactus picks him up, and Vitality yet again will find themselves on map and match point. This time, however, only worth 2 points, but it's still going to be something they will be taking. As you said, if you manage to take away points from the top dogs, you're going to be very happy about that.
And now it's a tactical from NaVi, which, hey, you've got it. May as well use it on your only option to potentially use it. And there were a couple of moments earlier on in the game when I was thinking, are they going to do it now? And I think here they're just breaking up the momentum. They're getting their heads together and making sure that they can kind of have a reset when you need it most. Because you're right, they have already lost a potential of 1 point. And they don't want to leave with just a point when the fight for the top is this close, and when Vitality are one of those kind of 5th place, 4th place teams, they're dancing around that danger zone. It's not a huge points difference between where NaVi is right now and where Vitality is, and with 4 play days left, including this, they need to make them all count.
Anything can still happen. If NaVi falls from this point onwards, they kill the Kings, and afterwards won't be able to take the wins anymore. It could just as well be a Rogue, a G2, or a Vitality that take that place right behind BDS. And NaVi as well, they know what the pressure is of this game. They need to, well, basically neutralize Vitality, as they are a true threat to their existence, to their, well, their place at the top right now. And they need to make sure they take 2 rounds in a row right now. They managed to do it the last time they were on a match point situation. Round 10, that is. This time, they need to bring it back to even and then finish the job themselves. Are we going to see the hero plays that are necessary for it? Or are we going to see a very well orchestrated attack from the likes of NaVi right now that will blow our minds and, well, blow Vitality into the gutter as well? As with a very, like, what you would need right now would be a flawless round, for example, on the likes of NaVi. If you really want to get that momentum and the mental in your favor. You don't want this to come down very closely.
Oh, it's always the weather for a flawless round.
It's always time for a flawless round. for any team.
Time.
It's always time.
Right, Rise. He's gone up high with the Vigil to try and, I guess, put off the ROM and put off the potential play of being pinched before, as I've said, and we sort of had a taste of. They have been pretty happy with the destruction they can cause around the upper echelons and stretch of the map. They put themselves in positions to kind of draw the attention of NaVi and punish them, which is the most important part. Confident to swing aggro on angles and really put the pressure in. And oh, there's a start. Nath taken out by P4. You lose those 2 of your 6 frag grenades, and you lose obviously the Gemini for her potential
and
at
the Gun 6
screening, and the Gun 6 too, and that was just from the swing. Yet again, we talk aggro, they swing on small bake window.
Yeah, it's not going to be helping them for sure. And Shinka right here in prep, waiting for a member to go aggressive as well, wanting to go in with that shotgun. Cactus trying to go for a little bit of a bait play. Not sure if you saw that, just putting down a couple of shots, letting them think it might be safe to go for it. And as the drone is going to be picked up right here, they're still very wary about the fact that someone might be around here. There, Shinka will be able to take down the kill. Doki truly assassinated as Blur just managed to open up onto the angle right there. Not going to be able to find a refrag, and this is looking really good for Vitality now. They have the opportunity. They have the 2-man advantage. They just need to continue trading now. They need to shut down any attempt on any hero play from NaVi, and they are going to be the ones that are walking home with the 2 points tonight.
Yeah, 2-body advantage, and there's still 1:30 left, and there's still, as you can see, concern for where Vitality are going to be, where they're going to throw themselves out next, and where they want to apply the pressure from next. Also, there's still an Echo on the board with 2 drones. There's still a huge amount of VALT cams as well. There's a lot of intel, and that is a slow burn of a torch that is just, again, every second of that is, well, where are they now?
All right, 60 seconds left on that clock. What is NaVi going to do? You have 2 members down in the bakery. They're trying to toss in these grenades, maybe take care of some of the anchor positions, maybe some utility. One of them is trying to go for the flank right here, and as the, well, actually, grenade hits Shinka right there. That's going to be a kill. That's going to be making it a little bit easier for these last 45 seconds. And with Saves trying to go for a flank, he might be able to find 1 or 2 as well.
Wow, this is the fight, though, that we talked about at the beginning. That Vigil is the one that's causing problems from above with that ability caught on the camera, and that'll be fed instantly to Vigil, who's going to hold the angle. They know each other's there, and Saves has a dance, but with 20 seconds, he's been able to secure some vertical control, but some, is it enough, is always that big worry and concern. Rise is still playing around with his gadget, making sure he can catch either side as they pop themselves right down the middle. Blur, he's gone deep, and he's going to try and stick it, but secretly gets dropped. Saves, drops 1. The trade comes through. It's a 1 versus 3. It's all Vitality.
Yeah, if Vitality are going to be able to walk away with the 2 points right here, and look at them. Most of them very happy. And okay, finally, the last laughter is coming out right here. And Vitality, a hard-fought victory. They might have wanted to go for the 3 points here as they were 6-4 up, and, well, a failed attempt at the Amaru plans. Well,
BB's happy with his French revenge.
He's happy with the French revenge. So will be the SB. There might be a little bit of like, guys, this could have been 3 if we were able to find that kill onto Doki. That was defusing, but nonetheless, they managed to beat NaVi, the ones that were currently on the top. Vitality proving their